Hey everybody, RPG guy here, and I've been reluctant to put up an RPG LP in a while, and I thought that you guys have waited long enough. You've sat through pain and suffering, banging your head against the wall. When is he going to do another one? When is he going to do another one? He keeps saying he's going to do another. And I'm going to try to get back in it to a degree as best as I can for you guys, because you guys deserve it. And you've been troopers for sticking around as long as you have. And I thought, what have I not done? What would be a great way to be kind of a tribute to you as the viewers? And I thought, well, there's no better game than the first Final Fantasy. Now you may wonder why play Final Fantasy 1. It's old. It's what would your experience add to it than versus others? And it's really more or less that my history of RPG started here. This was the first video game I ever played. No joke. This was the first video game I ever played. This was also the first video game I ever beat. Because I wasn't allowed to play another game until I beat this game. When I played this game I want to say it's 89 or 90, which would have made me about 7 or 8 years old, is when I played this game. And my father owned three games on his Nintendo: Final Fantasy, Romance of Three Kingdoms, I think is what it was called, and Mega Man 1, which was just Mega Man. And my brother and I got to choose a game to beat, and he said if we couldn't beat it, no video games ever for you guys. They're just a waste of time if you can't beat anything as difficult as this. And he knew they were difficult because he had already had them for about 3 months, and my father couldn't beat them either. And so I picked Final Fantasy. My brother failed at Mega Man. And for me, it was 3 to 4 months it took me to get through this game. I didn't have a guide. My dad owned the guide, but I wasn't allowed to use it. He put it on the top bookshelf where I couldn't reach it, and it was locked up. So it was a locked up book. It was a lockable bookshelf with a glass front on it, and I couldn't get to it, and I just had to do it myself. I remember being very angry at this game. I remember having to really sit down and be patient with this game. Luckily for me, the US version had a lot of glitches, and the insta-give spells didn't take effect. So, but anyway, my history with this game is a passion for me. Do I recommend this game for everybody? I don't think so. This game holds a special place in my heart. And I guess for me to go through it and experience it again with you guys at home will be a fun kind of nostalgia trip to see me go on. And you'll understand that. So, and as a precursor, I know I've gone on for about 3 minutes now. Just to finish off this little intro, for me personally, this is a tribute to my childhood as a kid, and it's going to be trippy to play through this. Now, I've streamed this about 4 years ago as well, so that's why I picked Final Fantasy Origins versus the other versions of the game. The original NES version is glitchy. It's got a lot of problems. The challenge is simplified because of those glitches. I could play the Japanese translated one on an emulator. I chose not to because I wanted to give you guys a visually better experience. And then when I look at Final Fantasy on the PSP, I believe they use the MP. I haven't played it, but I believe they used the MP system and got rid of the D&D style magic system that made Final Fantasy challenging in the first place. So part of me didn't want to go and do that because to me that seems like easy mode. To me, Final Fantasy Origins is the closest thing to let me rephrase. It's the closest thing to a visually enticing, visually presentable, authentic presentation of the game. As close to authentic as they can get it, and whatnot. So, and there's going to be a lot of grinding in this game. I'm going to cut out the grind sessions as much as possible. I'll also try to cut out the fights as much as possible, as long as I feel that we're getting into this cycle of fight, and you guys are just sitting there going, oh my god, will I just get on with it? So we'll get that all figured out for you guys. But first, let me introduce myself. I am your host, the RPG Guy, and today, and for days further, we will be playing Final Fantasy Origins. Let's play. That's what I meant to say. Let's get started here. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Now, I even bought this when it came out on PlayStation. And I was excited when I heard it got a graphical upgrade to like a Super Nintendo quality. So for me, this was exciting. I was, however, hoping for more like a 3D quality, but we didn't get it. And the technology wasn't there. My future is that we should push Square Enix to remake Final Fantasies 1 and 2 and 3 and redo them in a sense that they retain maybe the gameplay of 4, 5, and 6 and feel like you're playing 4, 5, and 6, but take a lot of liberties of redoing the stories and redoing the mechanics, especially in Final Fantasy 2, because it's got shitty game mechanics, and even they knew it was shitty when it came out. And maybe giving some more leniency, not leniency, but some more versatility in Final Fantasy 3. Because, yeah, they did a 3D remake of that, which I never understood why they did that. I always thought one was more deserving. But it would be nice to do some AAA level Final Fantasies 1, 2, and 3 redone in a way that they are much more enjoyable. That would require them to completely restructure monsters and characters and stuff, and leveling and everything. But I think that these 3 games deserve it. I really do. And then I saw this, and I remember too when I saw this scene, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." My nipples were hard. You were like in middle school when this game came out. My nipples were so hard. I was a teenager. It was a confusing time. Let it go. Oh, blinded by light. But we saw there the Warrior of Light. When I was a kid, though, I thought that was a different character, a villainous character specifically. But I was wrong. Obviously, I was corrected later by some friends. And so now what they offered to us is they actually offer us a backstory, which they do in the original game when the Final Fantasy harp theme is playing in the background. The visual kind of helped a little bit because it was just a blue screen with text. Oh man, that's me after Mexican food right there. Wait, that's me without Mexican food. What happened?
The wind died.
Usually when wind dies, it's because I broke it. They could have probably done an intro like this, but you never know how much data is on a cartridge. I'm not familiar with all those statistics.
The sea raged. The earth began to decay. No, not decay, not the giant ape. The gorilla, get him out of here. Only a prophecy kept hope alive in people's hearts.
Wait a minute. There's 4 elements. Where's the 4th one? Or did I miss that already? My bad. If I did, I missed someone?
When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come.
It's my epic Gandalf voice.
And after journeying far, 4 young warriors did at last appear.
So,
in the hands of each rested a mysterious crystal, made out of crack cocaine.
no, that doesn't crystallize. You mean heroin? Shut the fuck up, man. It's gonna turn into Breaking Bad over this.
And thus we have Final Fantasy.
And of course, like any PlayStation game, 1 game you can load and reload. So we're gonna start a new game, and yes, there is EVZ mode, but that's for chumps. We're doing normal hardcore, baby. So you start the game with 4 characters, and those characters can vary from class to class. Now, the most popular ones are warrior, warrior, white mage. I've seen that a lot. I did it once when I was younger. Warrior, all the way down. I've seen warrior, red mage, white mage. You know, there's all these different quote-unquote ways to do it. Now, warrior is originally fighter in the original game. Here's my thing. I will talk about these classes very briefly, and then I will tell you my party. We'll go down, and then we'll come up and end with thief. So, warrior, which was in the original game, is the fighter. They're really great. They're tanks. They get high HP, wear the best armor, use the best weapons, probably cause the most physical damage on average. And they're just great to have in the beginning of the game and at the end of the game. The catch, they're butt-hurtingly expensive. Their gear becomes very, very, very expensive, and if you're not grinding, you're not going to have enough cash to get their upgrades. Monk. Monk fucking sucks for the first 6 to 10 levels, and that's very debatable amongst players when the monk becomes really good. A lot of people use monk. I've never been a fan of it. I get it. I get why it's good, but I'm the guy that sits there and goes, well, they get good HP, but they don't get to wear really good armor, and you usually use unarmed, and their unarmed attacks are pretty good. They're at least on par with the red mage offensively, if not better. But the problem I've always found is they're a drain on the white mage, keeping their HP high and keeping them from dying. And that could be exclusive to this version of the game versus the PSP version or the original Nintendo Japanese style one. But monk is an interesting choice, and it's very popular, and a lot of people use them. The white mage, traditional white mage, they use nothing but white magic, and they wear cloth, so they're squishy, but they do have some hammers that help them do some damage physically, and they don't do too bad. And black mage is the same boat. They have access to all black magic, as white mages have access to all white magic. They are the squishiest, and they do literally pretty much no physical damage whatsoever. So why expect anything out of them in the first place, outside of them blasting the battlefield to oblivion with magic spells? The red mage is your Jot character, is the term I've coined in the past. Jot character, jack of all trades, and that's really what it is. He uses the middle-of-the-road armor most of the time. He uses the middle-of-the-road swords. He does get to use some better swords, but he'll never get access to the best swords in the game. He'll never get access to the best armor in the game, per se. He never gets access to the best white and black magic spells, per se. But they're so versatile that they are coveted, like the monk. People covet this class, because by end game, they're actually a really great secondary option in place of your thief or in place of the black mage if you don't want those high damaging black magic spells. And then everybody's hated thief. The thief is hated because in the beginning, in the first third of the game, or even 2/3 of the game, okay, let's break it into quarters. The first half of the game, the thief is pretty shitty. I get that. He's really fast. He somehow helps you escape battle a little faster. I've never really seen the mechanic on how that actually works, but it supposedly works. And he can't steal from anyone, so he's kind of a piece of shit. However, he's like a golden turd. He starts out as a piece of shit, but then we take that turd once it's solidified, and we dip it in gold. And now that turd is actually worth something. If anything, it shines with a ray of hope for that turd that's there. Not for the first-time player, but definitely for players who want to challenge, but also want to be rewarded for their dedication and effort made to the character. He actually, in my opinion, at times can be better than the red mage, and better than the monk. But that's a myth, isn't it? But that's what we're going to find out, because when I played as a kid, I played with a fighter, a thief, a white mage, and a black mage, and I got through it as a 7-8-year-old kid. So, if I could do it as a little kid, you guys can do it too. So let's get started. And it's not a matter of stroking egos, or it's nothing like that. I've seen people beat the game with a team full of thieves. Okay, it's been done. Did I just start the game without naming them? Oh, I backed out. So that's more of a shoulder stroke. But I like this party too, because it was the default party they had in mind, maybe. It's hard to say, but it's the party we're gonna go with. So, yeah. Let's get to naming here. So we only got 6 letters we can use, so I'm gonna try out some names here. We've got We're gonna name him Murder. Well, that's what he does. He murders things. We're gonna keep a thief, and we're gonna name him Stabby for my friend Lacey. Stabby. We're gonna name our white mage. I got it. Dildo. Dildo! It's like Dildo and Aeneas. No, it's Dido and Aeneas. Shut the fuck up. And obviously the guy that kind of is rough around the edges. You, sir, will be given the name of Fucker. Also keep in mind that the character order is actually relevant. The character usually on the top is targeted and then down the line. At least that's how I remember it being. So, anyway, and so we have Murder, Stabby, Dildo, and Fucker. We could call them dildos. Nah, there's... What's the plural for... Is it like a flock of dildy? No, dildos. Dildo and Fucker. Murder, Stabby, Dildo, and Fucker. Let's get it on. And this game is no games, no gimmicks. Ace starts you right outside town. There's no more intro. This is how the base game kind of starts you off. And you, as you can see, have a boatload of nothing. So we start with 400 smackerinos. So we're going to spend our big wad of sweaty money. And we're going to buy gear. Because in order for us to do good, we must have gear for us to do good. We're going to need a knife. I think it's better than the staff, in all fairness, but that's just me. We're going to need a rapier. We're going to need 2 rapiers, actually. And hammer! Thumbs up for anybody who gets that reference. All right, let's move on. And now we're going to get clothing. A chainmail. And it's good to start from the bottom because if you have another character that can wear chainmail, all more power to you. And then we're going to need 2 shorts. We still got 200 bucks left. Now, that's good, but not great. So... Now, how much was... I think it's 100 or 200. It's 100. Okay. So, foist things foist. We're going to grab Cure. Oops, it would help if I'm sorry, I got a Nintendo Switch and I've got my buttons confused. We'll buy Cure 1. We'll buy, not Die, or Dia. I think it's Die, but whatever. We're not going to buy that yet. We're going to buy... Theater! And now we've got 15 bucks, so we're pretty much broke. But don't worry, this is old school JRPG stuff, y'all. There's a whole plan. King searches for the Light Warriors. Wait, can you please go see His Majesty at once? I don't believe this was in the original game. This was just something to help new players figure out where to go. Travelers, is it true that you are the crystal bearers? Whip out your crystals, gentlemen. And possible lady in the hood. The prophecy says, when darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. Huh. I think I farted. But your majesty, we have no proof that these 4 are the true light warriors. Surely it is not coincidence that 4 warriors bearing crystals have appeared now. Brave ones, I need your help. Please rescue my daughter Sarah. Garland, once a knight serving... There's no telling you who's talking. Garland, once a knight serving His Majesty, has abducted Princess Sarah. We have learned that he is in the Temple of Chaos, north of Cornelia. Cornelia? Star Fox! No, it's not it! We attempted to rescue the princess, but his powers far surpass ours. Perhaps you wish to cross the northern state. I think they meant to put straight. But whatever. The bridge that once spanned it was lost long ago. If you bring my daughter back safely, I will build a new bridge. I am counting on you. Sounds like a pretty shitty reward. Why not give me 50 bucks, brah? So we are now in control. Receive a report that Garland has fled to the Temple of Chaos north of Cornelia. There's not much for the people around here to tell us, and unfortunately they didn't do anything cool like Working Designs used to do with like the Lunar remakes, which is give some of these guys wittier dialogue. Our king is searching for the Night Warriors. Wait, can you be? Yes, we are. We can be. So walking around the castle and the rest of the town, not really going to do much for us. You might say, well, why don't you buy potions? Well, potions aren't fucking cheap in this game. And that's kind of the nature of this game's hardcore kind of flatline structure here. Is you're left kind of to your own devices with dealing, and they expect you to do a lot of grinding. Are these the... Yeah, okay, so these are both the locked doors. And we won't worry about that for now. We will worry about that later, because there are good things to find. So now, like I said, we are left to our own devices. Now, the only way to normally save is, this is something I will exploit, is we can save a memo for now. Because we are level 1, and being level 1 in any Final Fantasy game is never a good thing. Because it all ends in blood, sweat, and tears. And so what the deal is in Final Fantasy 1 is we get to do fights. Now, the fights in this game, you're going to see here who pulls the most weight out of these guys. Rows do not matter if I'm not mistaken, so check this out. Goblins aren't too dangerous, really. As you can see, they're only hitting us for 1. I'm not worried about it. Boom. Shaka. Laka. But see, fucker he's a little fucker. The other thing they fixed too is if you kill an enemy, your characters will automatically target another enemy. This was an oversight in the original game where if you didn't tactically set up your characters well, you'd end up fighting and hitting nothing. You would literally be swinging at air. So that's another reason why this version, it fixed some of the problems. Really quick, let me talk about magic. There is no MP system in the traditional sense. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. You can, when you cast a spell, you get so many casts per day. If you have multiple spells, within, like, let's say you can get 3 level 1 spells per character, as long as they can use magic. So those 3 level 1 spells each share the same MP bracketing. So if your characters are casting level 1 magic, per se, then if they're casting level 1 magic, you run into the problem of that if you only get 2 casts per day, like in the case of like our casters here, Fucker and Dildo, for example. And I'll explain it. It's easier to show it to you than to try to verbally explain it. And we're lucking out with no misses so far. So we have 2 casts per day of any of our 3 level 1 spells. If I use Fire 1 at one time and Bolt 1 another time, I have no more spells to cast because I have no more MP. Now, as the game progresses and we level up, our amount of casts kind of per day goes up. But it's one of the neat little... I think it's not a game breaker to play this version because they left that in. Some people feel that it's a little too hard with the limited cast, so the MP system that was added, I think, in the PSP version made that a lot more accessible to, I am going to use this, say it, less skilled players. It's kind of true. If you can't, if this game is beatable. It is a pain, though, because you got to do a lot of grinding. So we got, current XP is 17. We all level at 23. So 1 or 2 more fights and we should be able to level here. And you're going to see how leveling kind of works. It's a little weird, but it works for all intents and purposes. Sorry, D-pad sometimes gets a little rough around the edge. And like I said, I wasn't going to show grinding sessions, but I do want to show you just these fundamental kind of things here as far as how the game goes. So somebody must have missed or didn't kill it. But you can see Dildo taking 7 damage, 6 damage, so 5 goblins easily is very dangerous. We're going to be casting Cure in a moment here. Because we are close to leveling. There and there. Yeah, because the Black Mage is just abysmally weak. As you can see, I know 28, 3x HP between white and black mage doesn't seem like a lot. 3 XP is life and death at these early levels, so keeping that XP up is going to be paramount. Did we not level yet? How far are we from fucking leveling here? Oh, it's 6 XP spread amongst the part. No, I read that wrong. My bad. 10 more XP. So let's get this level up so you can see how level ups work. We'll go into town, buy a few more things. Specifically magic. We have all the weaponry we need and gear. I would say what's really missing, and we'll use a magic spell for the cheap seats. What's missing really is maybe some items too, but the magic is most important to have for our characters. Hands down, the most important thing you can have is magic. And we do want to get a few items. Specifically, I believe we can buy sleeping bags in town. What was it? See, now my memory's fading a little bit on the subject. But we'll get all things squared away here. And it'll all make sense. So 3 more XP and then we level. Great. Okay, so one more fight. And like I said, future stuff I'm going to, grind sessions I'm just going to cut out. I'll give you an estimate what level I'm going to stop leveling at for you guys, for the cheap seats anyway. Because at some point you're going to want to be like, well, how many levels are you going to do? In my usual Let's Plays for you guys, I try to over-level just a little bit, not a lot. I do a little bit of over-leveling, but just because that way if we go through a dungeon, I don't sit there and cut out every single battle, you know, and all of that stuff. We can sit through a battle, get through it pretty quickly, and move on, so you guys get to see more of how we progress through the game. But I will try to, when I come back from a grind session, tell you how much time we spent. That way you can get an idea of what it is. And you've got the timer in-game that will open up every time you open the menu up. And you can see here, they tell you what stats you get. Endurance up, stabby gained a level, 23 HP, strength up, agility, luck. Dildo got more HP, strength, agility, intelligence, endurance, luck. Fucker gained more HP, intelligence, endurance, all good stuff. And actually, we got another cast. Woo! Now, it doesn't recover your MP. Ha ha ha. You don't get MP back for that. Yeah, I know, kind of a shitty deal. That's the way it goes. So really quick, let's go back to town. Now, normally if you want to save, if you're playing the original NES version, you need to actually go to Inns and do it, I believe. However, in this version, it is not necessary. We're going to buy, die. As this is an AoE against undead foes, I believe. I could be wrong. I know it does damage against undead. And then we're going to grab Bolt. And arguably, we want to probably pick up Sleep. So that'll be a spell we pick up. But we only got 1 gil. That ain't enough to buy Jack Diddley squat. And I think to stay at the inn is about 30 gil or something like that. But let's take a look so you guys can get an idea of what I'm going to be prepping for here. Yeah, we're going to buy a sleeping bag for sure. And maybe 2 sleeping bags. Maybe 1 sleeping bag. There's a reason I buy the sleeping bag. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to give that away now. You'll get to see why. And if you need to revive characters, you got to visit a church. Shining Force, anyone? So yeah, we're going to try to get the other 2 spells for our casters, even though the third option for the White Mage is pretty abysmal. Blink raises evasion by 80 points. Shield 1 raises defense by 8 points, so it's kind of 6 in one, half dozen the other. Neither of those are good, but Sleep is actually a pretty good Black Mage spell early in the game. And for a few battles where enemy groups are like massive, the fact you can put some of them to sleep is kind of a good thing. So this is going to be a grinding session. I'm probably going to get anywhere between level 4 and level 6. Level 6 is overkill, vast overkill. So we may stop between, it may stop at level 4 or level 5. So I'm going to go ahead and do some grinding, and we'll see you guys then. When we're done, of course. And we're back. So, we've got everybody to level 3. We're going to go to level 3. I know I mentioned that comment about over-leveling, but when you're getting 6 XP a battle, 329 is pretty abysmal XP-wise to get to. And we picked up all the spells we could pick up. Cure 1, die 1. I picked up Blink, because not getting hit is better than getting hit with only 8 extra defense. I figured in my own brain. I probably am wrong, but that's fine. And we also picked up Sleep 1 and Bolt 1, and we picked up 2 sleeping bags. And now our goal is to head to the Temple of Chaos, located in the Wolf Ruins, or the Ruins of Chaos, or whatever the fuck they're called. Because that's where Garland is hanging out with our girl. Now what's interesting is, upon level 3, Dildo was the only one that didn't get an HP bonus. So surprisingly, Dildo has the worst HP out of the party. Normally that doesn't happen. Normally Fucker gets the shaft, but White Mage getting the shaft this early is usually not, on HP, is usually not that great. But we're going to start making our way towards the dungeon here. And we're going to do something kind of cool. Now, my goal is to not have to use any MP right away. Because if we use MP right away, we run into a light problem. Because sleeping bags don't recover MP. Yes, so the perk of them really is just to keep characters kind of alive for the boss fight. To be able to handle the upcoming boss fight in the dungeon. Having some foresight into what the dungeon is helps, because if you're not prepared for the bullshittery that is in this dungeon, it could kill you. Now, we saved in Cornelia in case something bad happens. If something bad happens and we have to reload, that's going to happen. But hopefully we make it through safe and sound. The biggest problem we're going to have is that Dildo can't take a lot of attacks because he's a fucking dildo. And our goal is to get hit as little as possible. There are 2 rooms with chests in it that we have access to now. They're on the west side of the dungeon. There are more chests in the dungeon, but without an item that we need later, we can't get them. So there's no point in even wasting time going that direction. Especially if you're worried about your survivability and everything. So goal here is to really just pick up the items, leave the dungeon, and heal. And heal up with the sleeping bag, and hopefully not take so much damage that we have to use a spell anyway. So we get a leather cap, which, really, Dildo kind of needs it. It'll help a little, lowers his evasion a bit, but it's better than, well, actually that doesn't help him. Kind of need his evasion to be kicking in for us, so we'll put it there. Until his HP goes up a little higher, that's really the best we can hope for. And we're going to see all kinds of enemies coming out of the woodworks here. And this is where we're going to double up on some of them. So you can see we have a strong hitter and a weak hitter teaming up in some way, shape, or form. Because these guys can do some damage. And I think they can cause status effects like paralysis. I forget if they can do that or not, but part of my brain says I think that they still can. So it's been so long. I'm more familiar with the enemies halfway and near the end of the game than I am in the early parts of the game. I know that's weird, but, it is what it is. It's how I remember it. There's only 2 of them. I'm really hoping that they hit Murder and Stabby more than they hit Fucker and Dildo. So... And yeah, we're getting better XP here. Some would warrant this to be a good place to grind, but it's a little unnecessary. Potion... And we get a tent, which we do not want to use either of those things, really. If it can be avoided. If we have to go all the way back to Cornelia, we'll go back to Cornelia. God damn it. We'll go back to Cornelia. Instead of burn through our sleeping bags. They're useful. They have a purpose. To a degree. Come on, you bastards. There we go. freaking sweet. Let's head out of the dungeon. Get that delicious healing. And yeah, I'm going to have you guys sit through as we do this, because it's just for good measure. Just so you can get an idea of kind of the old school feel of the random encounters and everything. Now, the only person that may not kill a skeleton is going to be Fucker, but skeletons are usually pretty fast. So misses are very likely. And I think they only have 9 HP or so. So yeah, so there's some misses. But as long as they keep their attention on murder, I could care less about who gets hit. As long as they hit murder, stabby, and even at this point, Fucker, at least he can take 1 or 2 shots to the face. 1 or 2 shots to the mouth. No. Zombies. Let's do that because the weaker characters could double up on a kill here. Stabby failed, and so did Dildo. Ooh. This is getting close, guys. Kill, kill, kill. Must protect the white mage. Must protect the healer. Oh. Especially if we want to keep their XP consistent all the way through. Which means no character can die, which is ridiculous, but it's kind of a neat idea. Okay, let's pop the sleeping bag. Which looks like an erect wiener. I don't know why, but it does. I don't know what they were thinking, but they felt the need to do that. There we go. And you can see we've hit the 42-minute mark. So we've put about maybe 30 minutes or so into grinding, give or take, I would say. And I can tell by the look of it, not everybody's healed to full, so we'll deal with that in a minute, too. That's frustrating that the sleeping bag is just that pathetic, but it is that pathetic. Let's pop another sleeping bag because the potion almost costs as much as the sleeping bag, so at least the potion I can use in battle if I need to. No, we already saved once. Technically, I could risk going in there and fighting the boss with just the 2. With the 1 sleeping bag, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
At last, in exchange for the princess's life, all of Cornelia and its riches will be mine. Blasted pawns of the king, no one can stop me now. Very well, I shall take on all of you.
And thus we fight everybody's favorite first JRPG battle, Garland. And so Garland, we're not going to play too many games with. We're not even going to use Blink, really. But we will bust out some Bolt. Bolt or Fire, they do about the same amount of damage, I think, so it's really negligible. And we should be strong enough that killing him will be rather simple. We'll have Dildo heal himself since he didn't attack any of our other characters. Which, yeah, it's burning a cure, but it's burning it for all the right reasons. And that is keeping our characters alive. Especially if he gets lucky and hits Dildo even harder. See, Stabby and Murder can take the beating, and now he's down. So getting your characters to level 3 easily can beat this boss. As you can see, we barely put up much of a sweat. Got a shitload of money. Got 32 XP. Fucking A.
Thank you for saving my life. I am Sarah, Princess of Cornelia. Please come to the castle with me. My father will be most grateful for your valor.
You don't say.
My daughter is safe. I am forever in your debt. Lucan's prophecy has proven true. You must be the light warriors of whom he spoke. So I ask you to do what only the light warriors can. Rekindle the light of the crystals. Only then will the monsters infesting the world be banished and peace finally restored. To aid your journey, I will build a bridge to the north. I'm afraid that is all I can do for you. All this money and wealth and military, I just can't use it for you. So suck it, jabroni. And that's really the case. That's all he does.
This loot has been passed down to the princesses of Cornelia for generations. Garland took it when he abducted me. Had you not come, you would surely have put it to some terrible use. Please accept it as my gift to you. It may prove useful.
Nice. I guess. So, yeah, lackluster reward. May as well just fucking took a crap in a bucket and just handed it to me. So, we got the loot. It's more of a key item than anything. It'll get used later. Don't worry, all key items get used. And we get this little cinema that they didn't do in the original, because it's kind of, you know, them trying to add a little more. Okay, Mountain and then I have no control over these little cutscenes, dialogue-wise, by the way. They just kind of go. Sir, it is completed, sir. Stronger than ever. So they say. They're full of shit. Yeah. So there we go. Hip hip hooray. And we are back on the overworld. We've got a few bucks to spare, so let's buy, I hate to say it, another sleeping bag or two. Probably two. That way we get a full heal. And remember, I don't believe get our MP back, so almost want to take 3. Take 2. We'll rest at the inn, and we've got some places to go, really. Specifically, let's go to the inn. So we can make a delicious save, because saving is your friend. And we'll make a save. Always do it twice for a good measure. And now we have to make it to the next town, which is quite a ways. And there's some nasty enemies out there, but really, there's only 2 enemies that we need to be wary of on our travels, and that is the Ogres and the Creepers. I know that's a weird little combo, isn't it? But Ogres and Creepers are pretty dangerous. They hit really hard. They usually come in groups of Ogres and Creepers. Everything else should be rather simple, other than being ganged up on in number. That is something we will want to watch out for, because that could actually happen. You know, getting ganged up on a bunch of enemies is never fun. And of course, we get the famous Giggity-goo, alright, giggity-goo, alright.
And so their journey began. As warriors of light, the 4 youths faced a staggering mission and a stormy destiny. The 4 crystals they carried remained a mystery to them. In ages past, those crystals had radiated a dazzling light. The time for heroes is at hand. Darkness must be banished so the light of peace can illuminate the world once more. Now, where's my damn picture?
Oh boy. And there is your prelude. Giggity goo, alright. Alright, speaking of giggity goos, let's get going here. We've got more running, walking shit to do. And of course, the enemy I dreaded running into the most is the first fucking thing I run into. Oh boy. Oh my god. Do not be shy with these guys. Blast them, blast them, blast them. Hit them as hard as you can. Because they are quite healthy. You can see we couldn't even kill one. I will blast magic on the other ogre, though. Now, their XP and Queenage, I believe, is pretty good. So, it's not an entire loss dealing with them. And as you can see, Murder and Stabby will probably be able to handle them better than our casters. Which is the real problem, is just getting them to hit Murder over hit everyone else is what we're hoping for. Oh, that was fucking shit pile of damage. What is he, like fucking in the Matrix or something and we can't hit him? Come on! Wow, a full round of whiffs, huh? Hot damn. Oh, that was embarrassing. Holy crap, come on! Probably not even gonna level from this, too. Just 10 reasons to walk back to town right there. Got a lot of XP, though. 97 XP at 390 bucks. Can't complain about that too much. But we're gonna have to burn through probably all of our healing magic. See, the deal is that we gotta get to this cave up here to the north before we can technically go to the next town. A level is near, so that's good because it'll make our survivability go up. But I'm worried about all the other crap that goes along with that. Those crazy horses are not too strong HP-wise, but they hit pretty hard. As you can see. Oh! Yeah, we just walked into a barrel of hornets here. I'm gonna have to use that fucking potion, even though I don't really want to, but we can make it up for it later. This is why we bring the sleeping bags and we've got our potion. Let's just use the potion for now. Against my will. Still not enough, really, so let's pop a sleeping bag. And that should heal most characters up to full. If not, I don't think it'll heal the fighter up to full. But it'll do. Yeah, we don't need to save. We're not anywhere relevant yet. There's the cave. Oh, come to me, sweet cave. See, this shouldn't be too bad. Well, it's not as good as it could be. As wargwolves are a little more dangerous than regular wolves. Let's just hopefully get through this. So you can see we're sending the stronger characters after the wargwolves. And then we'll pick off the other ones in a moment here. Because you can have up to 9 small enemies on the battlefield at any given time. Hence why it can be pretty rough until we get access to hitting multiple enemies. We have it now, but it only works really against the undead, so kind of got to figure that out. Ooh. Oh my god, why is everything still alive? Probably because we keep missing fucking left and right. That doesn't fucking help at all, guys. These guys aren't that hard, what the fuck? They're out of magic. And no, there's no AoE with level 1 spells. You have to get spells that actually have AoE attached to them, so to speak. Yeah, hit him. Oh no. So many degrees of fail. So we're gonna, if we survive this, we're gonna be out of balance leveling, which is fine. But we're probably gonna die. So yeah, this is something that's gonna happen in your playthrough. Yeah, this fucking the white mage. We could run, but from this fight, but there's no point. We're so far away from a town, it's completely irrelevant. Probably I believe it costs money to revive characters. So be prepared. This is the kind of stuff that's going to happen in the earlier parts of the game. This doesn't. It gets a lot easier as the game progresses. So let's see. Where do we actually? Are we saving here the whole time? We'll stay there then. Where is this? Where are we now? We have the loot. Okay. So, yeah. This is going to be rough. So, yeah. So, I'm going to do some more leveling, but this is a really good place for us to stop. So, you got to see the first death in the game, and it came really early. Why? Because we got blindsided by 2 ogres. That really whipped the shit out of us. And just leveling-wise, we're like maybe 1 or 2 levels shy of really traversing that northern area safely, where the bridge is and everything. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna power our way through some more needed leveling, and then we're gonna go check out the cave that's up there, and we're gonna go to a new town, and we're probably gonna have to grind again, because welcome to Final Fantasy. But I do thank you guys for stopping by. I am your host, the RPG Guy, and when we come back, we will have some more Final Fantasy for you. We're gonna have to fight some more monsters, some more grinding. But we are gonna get to a point where the grinding is gonna slow down, but it's not gonna be for a little while here. So, of the first quarter of this game, we're talking like the 3rd quarter is when we're gonna start really benefiting from a big, grand, hyper invested power leveling session. But we have to get to that part of the game first, and we're not there yet. Once we get there and we grind those massive levels at a unique little location, which every Final Fantasy 1 fanatic and fan and RPG hardcore gamer knows about this location, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get powered up, and we're gonna keep continuing in our quest. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. Like, comment, and subscribe. You know, support the channels you watch, and come check me out on my Twitch channel at JackTart Studios. So twitch.tv/JackTartStudios, and come check me out there, because I play a lot of stuff live for y'all. And you can watch my games played in live, you know, when I play them live. You can watch them be in the video on demand stuff. So anyway, thanks guys, we'll see you next time. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please take a moment to check out more episodes from the RPG Guy, Tuesday Night Team Up, and more. And please subscribe. Always support the channels you enjoy watching, and while you're at it, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Keep on gaming hard. See you next time.